Well, I'd like to just keep referring to Della the zoo vet because when I first met her, I was doing a project at the zoo, and one day it wasn't going too well, and I thought I was having kind of a bad day. And Della came down and she said, yep, she was dealing with the fact that all the hippos had diarrhea. and and then that just was so good at helping me put the problems I was experiencing in perspective. Thank you, Della. That's something you all could think about. So I don't know how we talk about energy here at the foot of that mountain without talking about this place where we're all sitting and the amount of energy that comes to us from Tava. So I know some of you call that Pikes Peak after some guy who never even went up there. But the indigenous people here call that mountain Tava, which means sun mountain. And that mountain is bringing in a whole lot of energy to this planet, and it draws people to it. And it drew black elk there. Drew black elk right to the side of that mountain to have a vision. He was taken there by the thunder beings. And the Lakota say those are the most powerful of all the energies, the thunder beings, who of course are accompanied by the lightning beings. And he had this great vision there that one day there would be people from all over the world who would gather at the base of Pikes Peak and come together, and there would be a time where we would learn from each other and be peaceful. So that's, some people say that Black Elk had that vision on Harney's Peak. That's because his translator was from South Dakota, and he put that vision up on Harney's Peak, but no, he had that vision right there on the side of Pikes Peak, and he was taken there by the thunder beings, drawn here by the lightning. So later, Nikola Tesla, same thing. Drawn here by the energy, drawn here by the lightning, drawn here by the thunder beings. When Tesla walked around here, he had to wear big rubber boots up above his knees because the lightning would come right up through the earth around him. He too had a great vision here. He had visionary experiments here, and he was drawn by the quality of the light, but by the lightning here, and by Tava, that powerful source of energy here. And he spent 1 year doing some of his most amazing experiments. He came here drawn by the offer of free energy. And just when he was about to realize that dream, which truly was going to be free energy for all of us on the planet, he blew out every bit of electricity in town. And they had Nikola Tesla leave, but he he learned a lot while he was here. So I'm just starting to think about how I got here and how I was drawn here also, and kind of got struck by lightning here the first time I came when I was 13 years old. And I was on a bus ride from Atlanta, Georgia to the West Coast at age 13, because back then if you had an artsy kind of weird kid who just, you couldn't put him in the usual summer activities, you put him on a bus with a coach and people who knew about kids, and you sent him west. Or at least that somebody did that with me. And so I rode all the way from Atlanta, and it wasn't all that exciting of a drive. I was just reading John Steinbeck the whole way, getting ready, for California. And I might have been reading too much East of Eden, and you probably shouldn't even let 13-year-olds read it. But anyway, I was riding across. Not much happened all the way across Kansas, and then we got to Colorado, and I'd never been here before. Still nothing much happened. But then in Colorado Springs, somehow, we loaded up on the bus, and I got thrown together with Jeff Franklin, 13, weird, put on the bus, traveling west, and right, jostling together up right behind here, going up Ute Pass. I was struck by lightning. By the time we got to the top and we got to Woodland Park, I was in love. And I'd known Jeff for about 12 of those 13 years, and there was nothing special about him till then. But we fell in love there, and that took me up the mountain, and it eventually culminated in my first kiss in Disneyland, the top of a Ferris wheel with fireworks all around. So I, of course, went back and wrote a poem about it. But when I got back home after that momentous adventure, it wasn't long after that I was standing by an open windowsill on Lookout Mountain, Tennessee. And I had my hand on my phonograph needle as I was putting it on the record going, all you need is love, da 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 da. All you need is love, ba 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 ba. All you need is love, love. All you need is love. And right through the window came a bolt of lightning and struck that needle in my hand. That was the first time I was ever struck by lightning. And it was an amazing experience. It's kind of like I was just this little cat-shaped light bulb illuminated from within. And it's just like you just go, so, and the record melted, but not me. I was just illuminated from within. So that was the first time I was ever directly struck by lightning. Not too long after that, I was working in a barn taking care of horses, and there was a sign up above that barn that said, "Stay out of the barn during thunderstorms. This barn has been struck twice by lightning." So I was in there, and there was those thunder beings were really getting going, and all of a sudden I saw the horses' manes raise up at their tails, and there's this tingling sensation all around, and then and once again I was illuminated from within. And I bet my hair was standing up just like the horses, and then it all settles down. And it only happened one more time in that barn, and they never even added me to the sign. Because twice that barn got struck with me in there, and I never saw that sign changed. So then I finally made my way back out to this mountain, because falling in love here and everything, and that just brought me back out here. I went to Colorado College and actually ended up settling down here. But then one day I moved to Florida with my first husband. We were going to Florida in 2 cars, headed down there. And back then in those days, we didn't have cell phones. And so if you wanted to talk to somebody, you had to find a phone booth. And then you got to have somebody at a phone somewhere else to answer it. And if you're traveling across country in 2 trucks with 2 dogs, it's challenging. So during this jaunt, we got separated in Kansas somehow, and I ended up in a phone booth that was struck by lightning. And once again, I was just illuminated from within. So I forget how many times is that now. Let's see. No. There was 2 times in that barn. 4. All right. So now we'll just skip ahead. And we'll get to my second husband. We'll just skip all that stuff in between. And we're back here. And we've just invented this really crazy water fountain that does all these effects. And it's really crazy. Only thing is, if lightning is in the area, you got to shut it down. So we were testing out all these crazy water effects and letting it spray around, and here comes the thunder beings. And the lightning shut it down, and we ran to our car. And just as we both are on either side of the car, we have one hand on this side of the car, one hand on the other. Lightning strikes the car. And this time I didn't get so illuminated from within, but it was more of a metallic sensation. I don't know, that car. So by now, a lot of you are starting to look nervously at the sky, going, what's the weather like here? So not too long after that, I was awakened really early in the morning here, like really early by the thunder beings, like at 2 in the morning, which doesn't happen here. They don't come out usually at 2 in the morning. I'm like, what is that? And it was an early spring. It was this time last year. And I ran to the door to look out, and I pulled open the sliding glass door, and pa-chow! Lightning at 2 a.m. came down. And then it started to snow. And there was snow coming down and lightning striking everywhere. And then it started to hail. And then it started to rain. And then the thunder beings came back, and everything happened. And then it all happened over again, about 12 times that day. Some of you may remember that amazing day last spring. Hailed about 20 times. And the thunder beings, the lightning beings were there during all of it. But finally, I'm going to tell about one more experience with the thunder and lightning beings when I joined the Lakota on the side of Tava, Sun Mountain, in the meadow where Black Elk had that vision. And so we went there. Many beings gathered that day, were invited that day to this secret meadow. And we gathered there to have a pipe ceremony and to draw in the thunder beings and communicate with them. And we were there with our chief, Mike Littleboy, who was leading the ceremony. And we got there, it was a beautiful, clear day. And as we walked to this meadow, which overlooks Colorado Springs, all of a sudden, the sky just above us started to get very, very dark. We had our ceremony, and during the ceremony, the thunder beings came in, the lightning beings, the hail beings. They all, just in our area where we were conducting this ceremony, we could see all around us in all directions. No lightning, no thunder, no hail, except right where we were having this ceremony. And then at the very, very end of the ceremony, a rainbow came out at that exact moment. And now, look at you. You're all just sitting here from all over, gathered here in peace, right here where Black Elk said you'd be. So just look around you, see who's here with you as we all live in these powerful times of prophecy, right here in this place of prophecy. So that is what I have to say about energy tonight, and I thank you.